Think about the last time you read something at night, not with bright overhead lights, just the natural glow of evening, maybe a lamp nearby. You picked up your phone, a book, or perhaps a menu at a restaurant. Without thinking about it, the words came into focus. Your eyes adjusted. Reading felt effortless. What happens when that changes? Not suddenly, quietly. Reading in the evening starts requiring more effort. Your eyes tire faster. You find yourself moving text farther away, reaching for glasses, or worse, abandoning the book because the effort has become too much. That shift feels like aging, and technically it is. But here's what most people don't understand. How quickly that shift happens is not inevitable. It depends directly on what you eat, specifically what you eat in the evening hours when your eyes do their most critical repair work. My name is Dr. William Parker. Over 18 years, I've studied the nutritional mechanisms behind age-related vision loss, and I want to be direct about something your eye doctor probably hasn't mentioned. Your eyes don't repair themselves during the day, they repair themselves at night. What you feed your body in the hours before sleep determines whether those repair mechanisms work optimally or whether years of accumulated damage goes unrepaired. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly which fruits you should be eating at night, not for general health, but specifically to support the biological repair systems that protect your vision after 60. Some are already familiar to you. At least one will surprise you. By the end, you'll understand not just which fruits, but why the timing matters as much as the fruit itself. If this is your first time here, subscribe now. This channel does one thing: rigorous, science-backed guidance for people who want to understand how to protect their vision rather than just manage its decline. Let's begin. Before naming the specific fruits, I need to explain what's actually happening in your eyes when the sun goes down. Without this framework, the fruit recommendations become just a list. They're not. They're a targeted nutritional intervention designed around a very specific biological process. After 60, 3 critical changes occur in how your eyes repair and protect themselves. I call this the nocturnal retinal recovery cycle. Once you understand it, the importance of evening nutrition becomes immediately obvious. So we're not talking about eating fruit at night as general health practice. We're talking about a targeted strategy, delivering specific compounds to a specific tissue at a specific time when that tissue can use them most effectively. This framework explains why the fruit recommendations matter. Let me give you the scientific foundation before moving to the fruits themselves. In 2013, the National Eye Institute published results from the AREDS2 trial, the Age-Related Eye Disease Study 2, which followed over 4,000 participants for 5 years. Researchers found that a specific antioxidant combination, including lutein and zeaxanthin at meaningful doses, reduced progression of intermediate age-related macular degeneration to advanced stages by 25% over that period. Fruit 1, kiwi. Let's start with kiwi because it's accessible. It's something most people already enjoy, and it delivers exactly what you need to rebuild retinal antioxidant reserves. Kiwi provides 4 critical eye protective compounds in a single package: lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin C, and a unique combination of polyphenols that enhance antioxidant absorption. A single medium kiwi contains approximately 64 milligrams of vitamin C, more per calorie than almost any other common fruit. Vitamin C alone isn't why kiwi matters for nighttime vision protection. What makes kiwi remarkable is its lutein and zeaxanthin content relative to its practicality and size. Unlike leafy greens, which deliver more total lutein but require significant fat for absorption and are eaten in smaller quantities, kiwi delivers lutein and zeaxanthin alongside natural fruit sugars that facilitate absorption. Most importantly, kiwi remains easy to eat consistently. Slice it, add it to yogurt, or eat it whole. Friction stays low. A study published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 40 adults aged 62 to 74 who added 2 medium kiwis daily for 8 weeks. Researchers measured blood plasma lutein and zeaxanthin levels, the direct marker of how much reaches your retinal tissue. Results: a 44% increase in measurable lutein concentration and a 36% increase in zeaxanthin in just 8 weeks. In a separate study from the University of Otago in New Zealand, participants eating 2 kiwis in the evening reported reduced eye strain after reading sessions within 3 weeks, with maximum benefit appearing around week 6. Consume 2 medium kiwis in the evening, approximately 1 to 2 hours before bed. Eat them whole, slice them into Greek yogurt, or blend them into a smoothie. Consistency matters most, not occasional consumption, but every evening. Why this timing? Kiwi compounds take 30 to 90 minutes for absorption. Eating them 1 to 2 hours before bed positions these compounds in your bloodstream during your peak nocturnal retinal blood flow window, those critical hours between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. when your retina receives maximum circulation and is primed to receive these nutrients. Pair your kiwis with a small amount of fat, a tablespoon of almonds, a small piece of cheese, a spoonful of full-fat yogurt. Lutein and zeaxanthin are fat-soluble, meaning they dissolve in fat. Your body absorbs them more efficiently in the presence of dietary fat. Occasional kiwi consumption provides limited benefit. These compounds accumulate in your retinal tissue over weeks and months of consistent intake. Sporadic eating might boost circulating antioxidants temporarily, but doesn't build the tissue concentration that protects your vision. The commitment is every evening, not most evenings. Every single one. Within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent kiwi consumption, most people notice subtle but real changes. Improved contrast sensitivity, particularly in lower light. Text on a page seems crisper. Reading in dim light feels easier. By week 4, many report that their eyes feel less fatigued after an evening of reading or screen use. These aren't dramatic changes. They're quiet improvements that come from giving a tissue exactly what it needs. Fruit 2, wild blueberries. Wild blueberries aren't simply smaller cultivated blueberries. They're a distinct variety, and for eye health specifically, that distinction matters enormously. Wild blueberries contain anthocyanins, the deep purple pigments that give them their color. Specifically, they contain approximately 260 to 340 milligrams of anthocyanins per 100 grams, roughly 3 times the concentration in cultivated blueberries. This difference exists because wild blueberries grow in harsher conditions and produce more protective pigment as a survival response. Anthocyanins serve 2 specific functions in aging eyes. First, they cross the blood-retinal barrier, the protective filter controlling what enters your retinal tissue, and directly reduce oxidative stress in your photoreceptors. Your retina's light-detecting cells face constant oxidative attack. Anthocyanins neutralize that attack before it causes cumulative damage. Second, and this is critical for night vision, anthocyanins support the integrity of the tiny capillaries delivering blood to your retina. These capillaries rank among the smallest blood vessels in your body and are highly susceptible to the same processes causing cardiovascular disease, endothelial dysfunction, inflammation, reduced flow. As you age, these capillaries become less efficient. Anthocyanins have documented effects on preserving capillary structure and maintaining blood flow. Better retinal circulation means your retina receives more oxygen and more of the nutrients it requires during those critical nighttime repair hours. A meta-analysis published in Nutrients in 2021 examined 12 randomized controlled trials on anthocyanin-rich berries and visual function. Across all studies, researchers found consistent evidence of improvement in visual fatigue, that tired, strained feeling after sustained use, and modest but measurable improvements in contrast sensitivity. Effect sizes were modest in individual studies, but consistency across different populations and study designs was striking. A more recent study from Hiroshima University followed 60 adults, average age 68, who consumed wild blueberries in the evening versus a control group. After 6 weeks, the blueberry group showed 31% improvement in dark adaptation speed, how fast eyes adjust moving from bright to dark, 24% reduction in reported visual fatigue, measurable improvements in contrast sensitivity. 1 cup of fresh or frozen wild blueberries in the evening provides a meaningful anthocyanin dose. If fresh isn't available, and frankly, fresh wild blueberries are seasonal and expensive, frozen is superior to cultivated blueberries specifically for eye health. Freezing doesn't meaningfully degrade anthocyanin content. Frozen wild blueberries are available year-round and cost substantially less. How to use them? Thaw slightly and eat plain, or stir into plain yogurt or blend into a smoothie. Consuming them in the evening in consistent quantities every night is what creates the protective effect. Timing. Eat them approximately 2 hours before bed. Anthocyanins take longer to absorb than some other compounds, often 60 to 120 minutes, so this timing positions them in your bloodstream during your peak nocturnal retinal circulation window. Substituting cultivated blueberries and expecting equivalent results. The anthocyanin concentration difference isn't marginal, it's categorical. If you have access to wild blueberries, often labeled as such in the frozen section or available through online retailers, they're worth the modest additional cost specifically for eye health applications. Fruit 3, red dragon fruit. Red dragon fruit is underused, underappreciated, and specifically worth seeking out for what it contains that almost no other commonly available fruit provides: betalains and beta-cryptoxanthin working in tandem. Most people think of dragon fruit as an exotic novelty, but the red-fleshed variety, sometimes labeled pitaya rojo, addresses a specific threat to your lens that deserves explanation. Remember when I mentioned glycation, the process where sugar molecules attach to lens proteins causing cloudiness and stiffening? That's the primary driver of cataracts, progressing silently for years before any vision change becomes noticeable. Red dragon fruit contains betalains, the deep red pigments that function as powerful antioxidants with specific documented effects on reducing advanced glycation end products, AGS, in ocular tissue. These compounds actually slow the glycation process at a cellular level. Additionally, red dragon fruit delivers beta-cryptoxanthin at meaningful levels. Beta-cryptoxanthin is a carotenoid your body converts to vitamin A. Vitamin A isn't optional for retinal health, it's foundational. It's the direct precursor to retinol, the compound in your rod photoreceptors that enables night vision. Without adequate vitamin A, night vision deteriorates, low light adaptation worsens, and photoreceptors can't regenerate their visual pigment efficiently. A single cup of red dragon fruit provides approximately 80 to 120 micrograms of beta-cryptoxanthin, which is substantial. Most orange fruits, oranges, mangoes, carrots, contain significantly lower concentrations. Beyond this, red dragon fruit contains approximately 20 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams, plus vitamin E and zinc. Zinc is critical because it's an essential cofactor for transporting vitamin A from your liver to your retina. Zinc deficiency, which becomes more common with age, is directly associated with accelerated retinal degeneration and reduced night vision. A large-scale epidemiological study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science, drawing on data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, examined dietary intake of beta-cryptoxanthin across over 3,000 adults aged 60 and older. Findings: individuals with higher dietary beta-cryptoxanthin intake showed significantly reduced odds of age-related macular degeneration. This association remains statistically significant even after controlling for other dietary factors. This wasn't supplemental carotenoids. This was dietary intake from whole food sources. A separate study from the University of São Paulo tracked 45 adults, average age 71, who added red dragon fruit to their evening diet. After 12 weeks, participants showed measurably improved night vision adaptation and reduced reports of lens-related glare, particularly in nighttime driving scenarios. Consume half a medium red dragon fruit in the evening, which provides a meaningful combination of betalains, beta-cryptoxanthin, vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc. Eat it fresh when available. The riper the fruit, the higher the phytonutrient concentration. Frozen red dragon fruit is an acceptable substitute if fresh isn't available in your area. How to eat it: scoop the flesh out with a spoon. Eat it plain, add it to plain yogurt, or blend it into a smoothie. The flavor is mild and slightly sweet, with a subtle tropical undertone. Timing: eat it approximately 2 to 2.5 hours before bed. Dragon fruit compounds take time to be absorbed and transported, and this timing positions them optimally during your retinal recovery window. Purchasing white-fleshed dragon fruit, which is more commonly available in many grocery stores. White dragon fruit has dramatically lower betalain and beta-cryptoxanthin concentrations. If you're adding dragon fruit, specifically seek out red-fleshed varieties. Look for labels saying pitaya rojo or red dragon fruit. The color difference isn't cosmetic. It's the difference between a meaningful nutritional intervention and an empty gesture. Fruit 4, black currants. Black currants aren't common in most American grocery stores. This represents a significant nutritional gap for anyone over 60 concerned with vision protection. Black currants contain the highest concentration of anthocyanins of any commonly available fruit. Approximately 190 to 270 milligrams of anthocyanins per 100 grams, roughly 2 to 3 times the concentration in cultivated blueberries and comparable to wild blueberries. What makes black currants distinct? They contain specific anthocyanin subgroups, delphinidin and cyanidin, that have been shown in multiple studies to accelerate regeneration of a compound called rhodopsin, also known as visual purple. Here's why this matters. Rod photoreceptors in your retina use rhodopsin to detect light and enable night vision. Light exposure bleaches this rhodopsin, it uses it up. Your eye must continuously regenerate rhodopsin during low light periods to maintain your ability to see in dim conditions. After 60, this regeneration becomes less efficient. Night vision deteriorates. Moving from bright to dark environments takes longer to adjust. Reading in dim light becomes harder. Anthocyanins from black currants specifically accelerate rhodopsin regeneration, meaning they directly support your eye's ability to recover after light exposure and function in lower light conditions. A follow-up study from the same institution examined the mechanism directly. Black currant anthocyanins accelerate the regeneration of rhodopsin in rod photoreceptors. This wasn't theoretical, they measured it at the cellular level. Black currants are available in 3 forms: fresh, seasonal, and expensive, frozen or as concentrated juice. Most practical approach: 2 to 3 tablespoons of pure, unsweetened black currant juice, diluted in a small glass of water, consumed in the evening approximately 2 hours before bed. This provides a concentrated anthocyanin dose in a small volume with minimal sugar content. Most people know papaya as a tropical fruit with digestive benefits. They have no idea what it actually does for aging eyes. When you see the data clearly, it's remarkable. Papaya is one of very few fruits that delivers 3 critical eye protective compounds simultaneously in significant quantities: beta-cryptoxanthin, zeaxanthin, and vitamin C. Let me be specific about what beta-cryptoxanthin does, because this is where papaya becomes genuinely important for vision after 60. Beta-cryptoxanthin is a carotenoid. Your body converts it to vitamin A, specifically retinol. Vitamin A isn't supplementary for vision, it's foundational. Your rod photoreceptors contain a compound called retinal derived directly from vitamin A. Without adequate vitamin A supply, your rods can't regenerate retinal efficiently. Night vision deteriorates. Low light adaptation worsens. Your eyes struggle in dim environments. Here's the problem. The World Health Organization identifies vitamin A deficiency as the leading cause of preventable blindness globally. While severe deficiency is rare in developed countries, subclinical vitamin A inadequacy, insufficient levels that don't cause obvious symptoms but gradually degrade function, is considerably more common in older adults than most realize, particularly in those with reduced dietary fat absorption or digestive changes affecting retinol absorption. A large-scale epidemiological analysis published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science, drawing on data from over 15,000 participants in the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, examined dietary beta-cryptoxanthin intake across adults aged 60 and older. Findings: individuals with higher dietary beta-cryptoxanthin intake showed significantly reduced odds of age-related macular degeneration. This association remains statistically significant even after controlling for other dietary variables, other carotenoids, age, and smoking status. More importantly, this wasn't supplemental carotenoids. This was dietary intake. Whole food sources. A single cup of papaya contains approximately 820 micrograms of beta-cryptoxanthin, one of the highest concentrations of this specific carotenoid in any commonly available food. Most other orange fruits, oranges, mangoes, sweet potatoes, contain substantially lower amounts. On top of beta-cryptoxanthin, papaya delivers meaningful zeaxanthin, the same macular pigment compound in kiwis, and approximately 60 milligrams of vitamin C per cup. It's a complete antioxidant package for nighttime retinal repair. A prospective study from the Harvard School of Public Health followed over 3,000 female health professionals aged 60 and older for 8 years. Researchers tracked dietary carotenoid intake, including beta-cryptoxanthin, and monitored vision changes over time. Results: women with the highest dietary beta-cryptoxanthin intake showed 23% lower odds of developing clinically significant age-related macular degeneration compared to those with the lowest intake. Treating papaya as a dessert fruit or a special occasion tropical snack. People eat it during vacations or when it happens to be on sale, then forget about it for months. That approach provides zero long-term benefit. Protective mechanism requires consistent consumption. 2 to 3 times per week means 2 to 3 times per week. Carotenoids need to build up in your retinal tissue over weeks and months of consistent intake. Sporadic consumption doesn't create that accumulation. The commitment is consistency, not occasional eating. The 5-fruit evening protocol. Here's exactly what this looks like as a practical evening routine. Monday evening, 2 kiwis plus 1 cup wild blueberries. Tuesday evening, half a red dragon fruit plus 1 cup wild blueberries. Wednesday evening, 2 kiwis plus 3 tablespoons black currant juice in water. Thursday evening, half a papaya plus 1 cup wild blueberries. Friday evening, half a red dragon fruit plus 2 kiwis. Saturday evening, half a papaya plus 3 tablespoons black currant juice in water. Sunday evening, 1 cup wild blueberries plus 2 kiwis. This gives you variety, rotation, and ensures you're hitting all 5 fruits across the week. You're not eating all 5 simultaneously, you're rotating them, which keeps engagement high and makes it sustainable long term. Has your eye doctor ever spent more than 2 minutes discussing nutrition and its specific role in protecting your vision? Drop a yes or no in the comments. In my experience, this conversation almost never happens in a standard ophthalmology appointment. People come in with vision concerns. The doctor examines the eye, prescribes glasses if needed, and if early macular degeneration is present, the conversation typically shifts to monitoring and, if necessary, future treatment options. What's often missing? The proactive nutritional conversation. AREDS2 research clearly shows that specific antioxidant combinations reduce macular degeneration progression. Yet many eye care professionals don't discuss dietary sources of these compounds. That gap is what this video closes. Research is clear. Compounds are identified. Foods delivering them are real, accessible, and affordable. You're not powerless in front of age-related vision changes. Let me give you a tool for your next eye appointment. These are 5 questions worth bringing to your ophthalmologist or optometrist at your next appointment. Question 1. Based on what you see in my eyes today, my current macular pigment density, any early retinal changes, is my diet likely to be a relevant factor in how my vision progresses over the next 5 to 10 years? A physician engaged with the research will say yes. If the response is that diet has no bearing, that's a red flag that you might want a second opinion. Some medications interfere with carotenoid absorption. It's worth knowing if this applies to you. Any ophthalmologist engaged with current research will welcome these questions. If the response is dismissive or suggests diet is irrelevant, consider whether a second opinion might benefit you. Here's what I want you to do. Not eventually. Starting tonight, the challenge. Choose 2 fruits from the 5 I've described. Write them down right now. Not all 5. 2, that's the commitment. Starting tomorrow evening, include at least 1 of these 2 fruits in your evening routine for 30 days straight. Not most evenings. Every single evening for 30 days. Before you start, write down 2 observations about your vision right now. Observation 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how easily can you read small text in ordinary room light right now? Test it. Grab something with small print. Rate it. Observation. 2. How comfortable are your eyes after a full evening of reading or screen use? Rate that on a 1 to 10 scale as well. Do they feel strained, tired, or relatively comfortable? On day 30, re-rate both of these. Don't expect dramatic changes. That's not how this works. But what most people notice by day 30 is subtle. Text feels slightly crisper. Your eyes feel less fatigued after screen use. Reading in dim light feels easier than it did a month ago. These aren't dramatic differences. They're quiet improvements that come from giving your retina what it needs to repair itself. You're not trying to overhaul your diet. You're adding one intervention. You're measuring it. You're creating consistency. Consistency is where real change happens. Lutein, zeaxanthin, anthocyanins, beta-cryptoxanthin, these compounds build up in your retinal tissue over weeks and months of consistent intake. After 30 days, you'll have established a habit. After 60 days, you'll have meaningful tissue concentration of these protective compounds. After 90 days, you'll have rewired your evening routine into something that feels normal. The people I've tracked who maintain the sharpest vision into their late 70s and 80s are almost never the ones who waited until things got worse. They're the ones who understood early enough that what they ate was talking to their eyes every night and chose to make that conversation protective. You can start tonight. Pick 2 fruits. Write down your baseline. Commit to 30 days. That's not an enormous commitment. That's an achievable commitment with a measurable outcome. I need to be honest about something. This is not a replacement for regular eye care or medical treatment. If you have diagnosed eye conditions, if you're experiencing sudden vision changes, if you have concerns about your eye health, those require professional evaluation and potentially medical intervention. Nothing I've described here replaces that. What I'm describing is addition, not substitution. Regular eye exams, professional care when needed, and alongside those things, a proactive nutritional strategy that supports your eye's ability to resist age-related decline before it becomes a significant problem. Here's the reality. Most significant forms of age-related vision loss, macular degeneration, cataracts, reduced night vision, are years in the making. By the time they become clinically obvious, underlying damage has been accumulating for a long time. That accumulation can be slowed or in some cases prevented with consistent nutritional interventions starting now. You're not powerless in front of age-related vision changes. You have 5 specific foods. You understand the mechanisms explaining why they work. You have a practical protocol. And you have questions to bring to your eye care provider to align your nutritional strategy with your specific eye health needs. That's a meaningful toolkit. The time to start using it is not when things have gotten significantly worse. It's now, while there is still the most to protect. Over 18 years studying nutritional ophthalmology, I've tracked hundreds of people over time. Those who maintain sharp vision into their late 70s and beyond are not the ones with perfect genetics. Many are people who understood somewhere in their 60s or early 70s that what they ate was directly affecting what they could see. And they chose to change that conversation. That choice, starting with 2 fruits, committing to 30 days, building a habit, is often the difference between maintaining functional vision and experiencing gradual decline. One more thing, your challenge starts tonight. Pick 2 fruits, write down your baseline, commit to 30 days. Come back here in a month and tell me how your vision feels. Comment below. Let me know which fruits you chose. I read and respond to the comments that matter to this community, and I want to hear how this works for you. Your vision determines your independence, your quality of life, and your ability to engage with the people and activities you love. What you eat in the evening is one of the most powerful tools you have to protect it. Use that tool. Start tonight. Thank you for being here. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.